Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to completely rethink how we interact with artificial intelligence. Because look, if you're using Claude AI right now, or honestly, any major AI tool, there is a really good chance you're treating it like a basic, slightly amnesic chatbot. You know the drill. You ask a question, you get an answer, and tomorrow it completely forgets who you even are. But what if we could transform Claude into a true, highly personalized daily assistant? Today, we're breaking down 8 specific, highly effective habits straight from Daily Power users that are going to absolutely skyrocket your productivity. To understand the solution, though, we first got to look at the problem. And this right here is the exhausting, repetitive routine most people are stuck in. Step 1, you open a tab. Step 2, you type a question, and crucially, you have to re-explain all the background context of what you're actually working on. Step 3, you copy the answer. Step 4, close the tab. And then, the very next day, you repeat that entire setup from scratch. It is incredibly inefficient. You are constantly starting from zero, explaining your tone, your job, and your preferences over and over and over again. And this number vividly illustrates the cost of that old routine. By working that way, you're only utilizing about 20% of the tool's actual capabilities. Think about that. You're leaving an astounding 80% of Claude's potential power completely untouched, just sitting on the table. The author of our source material realized this only after paying close attention to just how much time was being wasted re-explaining context. It's a pretty staggering realization. I mean, if you're only getting 20% out of the tool, you aren't really using an assistant, you're basically just using a slightly smarter search engine. So let me pose a quick question to you right now. When was the last time Claude actually remembered what you needed, without you having to remind it every single time? If you can't easily answer that, you're definitely experiencing this shared frustration. You're burning valuable mental energy managing the AI rather than having the AI manage your workload. All right, let's fix this. Part 1, stop starting from zero. This is the foundational habit. Habit number 1 is utilizing projects. It's a brilliantly simple but revolutionary concept. By grouping related conversations together into specific projects, the AI automatically picks up your relevant context. For example, if you keep all your blog writing work in one project space and all your coding side tasks in a completely different project space, you literally never have to re-explain those separate worlds to Claude. The source data points out that retyping your background information costs about 2 to 3 minutes per conversation. Eliminate that, and you're saving hours of overhead across a week of daily use. It's the habit that absolutely everything else is built on. Moving right along to Section 2, Master the AI conversation. It's time to shape those outputs. Which brings us to Habit 2. Give it your actual voice, not just some generic one. There is a stark difference between that default, overly softened AI tone and your direct, specific, personal style. The out-of-the-box tone is fine, sure, but it isn't yours. If you want direct answers without a million bullet points, you have to actively correct it. Tell it point blank, hey, this is too formal, here's how I'd phrase it. Over a handful of corrections, it actually learns. And why does this matter? Because if you use AI to draft emails or blog posts, generic-sounding output is incredibly easy for readers to spot and flag as low effort. Let's look at Habit 4 and see how this builds our conversational mastery. Consider this perspective. I'd genuinely rather it ask me one clarifying question than confidently produce something that misses what I actually needed. For the longest time, we've just assumed that a good AI instantly guesses exactly what we want on the first try. We need to completely flip that assumption on its head. Phrase your request in a way that actively invites a question back. For complex research, outlines, or technical explanations, letting Claude ask a clarifying question drastically improves the final output. So stop demanding instant, perfect answers and start demanding a collaborative process. And that flows perfectly into Habit 6. Use it to iterate, not just generate. When we get a mediocre result, human nature kicks in and makes us want to click regenerate and just start over from scratch with a slightly different prompt. It feels so much easier in the moment. But the data shows that's actually the slowest way to work. Instead, treat that first response as a rough draft. Tell the AI exactly what is off about it and let it revise the text in place. Iterating directly on a draft is the absolute fastest, most effective way to get a highly refined result. It requires a tiny mental shift, but man, it pays off massively in speed and quality. All right, let's zoom out to Part 3, Build Reusable Systems. Let's talk about scaling your AI habits. Habit 3 is treating your custom instructions as a living document. See, a lot of people think of custom instructions as this one-time, set-it-and-forget-it task. That is a huge mistake. Your work shifts, your projects change, your preferences evolve over time. The author found that instructions written just a month ago were already going stale. By getting into the habit of revisiting and updating your custom instructions every couple of weeks, you can cut the number of times you have to manually correct the AI's responses by nearly half. Keep it current, and the AI stays incredibly sharp. Next up is Habit 5, build reusable templates. Listen, if you find yourself asking Claude for the exact same type of output more than twice, like a specific weekly report structure or a standard email format, stop what you're doing right there, turn that request into a pre-built template. This is honestly declared the absolute biggest time saver on the entire list because it completely 100% removes the need to ever explain a formatting structure twice. It also guarantees that your output remains perfectly consistent over time. Now, Habit 7 requires some real discipline. We're talking context separation. You must separate your long-running projects from your quick throwaway questions. If you're doing a quick fact check or you need a one-line code fix, whatever you do, do not put that into your main project workspace. Give those throwaway questions their own separate space. Mixing them together just clutters your long-running projects with useless noise, and it deeply confuses the AI's memory. Protect your project workspaces so the AI only remembers what is actually relevant to your main goals. And Habit 8 is the glue that ties all these systems together. Treat this as an ongoing process. Every few weeks, take a step back and review what's actually working and what isn't. Maybe a custom instruction is no longer needed because your project structure got better. Maybe you realize you need a brand new template. Regularly checking in on your own process is the true difference between getting a tiny bit of marginal value out of Claude and building a deep daily reliance on the tool as a genuine assistant. Finally, Section 4, maintain your AI habits. Let's look at the final payoff. When you combine these 8 small adjustments, the overall improvement in usefulness is a staggering 70 to 80% compared to just starting from scratch every day. Think about that. The AI actually begins to anticipate your needs, write in your unique voice, and structure your data exactly how you like it. And honestly, here is the best part. You do not need a paid plan to implement a single one of these habits. Whether you're using the free tier or a premium tier, it is entirely about how you use the tool, not which version you're paying for. So the crucial point to take away today is this actionable checklist. Number 1, stop starting from zero. 2, use your actual voice. 3, keep instructions living. 4, invite clarifying questions. 5, build reusable templates. 6, iterate, don't generate. 7, separate context. And 8, periodic review. Take a screenshot, print this list out if you have to. These are the absolute keys to mastering AI productivity. Which brings us to one final thought to close out today's explainer. Take a hard look at your own workflow right now. Are you going to keep treating your AI like a forgetful, basic search engine? Or are you finally ready to put in the few minutes of work required to train your new, ultimate daily assistant? The tools are sitting right there waiting for you. It's time to stop starting from zero. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start implementing these habits today.